Hey everybody, happy Tuesday! If that's something to be happy about. I'm not really that happy, if I'm honest, and I guess that's kind of how I'm starting this video, so that's just the way it is. Get used to it. I don't know. Even though, hey, I might be Christian, but it doesn't mean I'm happy all the time. But everybody knows that, because we're humans, and that's what it is. What am I talking about today? I have no idea, but I was just kind of sitting down, I was thinking a lot of thoughts super fast, and I was just like, this is perfect. I should probably get this out and just put it out on, I should put my personal feelings out on the internet for everyone to observe. I don't know why I do this to myself. I don't know, it's just to help myself. I don't know, is this a healing process? It's to help myself heal, I guess. That's what people say, or at least that's what some of my friends say. And I'm just kind of going with it, and it's kind of fun, and it's giving me something to create, so I'm just kind of going with that flow. What do I do when I'm like sad? What do I do when I don't really want to be alive in the moment? I watch Street Fighter videos. But the problem with Street Fighter videos now is that Street Fighter 6 and all the Street Fighters, by the way, past 4 just lost it with the art. No, I'm not going to go on an entire Street Fighter rampage, just know that. But I'm just going to get this off my chest, okay? Like, Street Fighter 4 and on, everybody looks like gorillas. Nobody looks cool anymore. They have that suave, sweet, sleek, like, svelte, look back, in the 2D era, except for the, the EX series. That's like a whole nother thing. We don't talk about the EX series. But anyway, yeah, Street Fighter Third Strike, that was the best thing. Street Fighter 3 was the best art. That's where the best music, the best art. Alpha 3 is actually also kind of a contender. It might be tied. But anyway, I kind of watch Street Fighter videos. Why? Because it's just kind of like I like to watch something that's from my childhood. It's nice to just kind of see something happening that reminds me of good things and good times, and I don't even have to play. I haven't played in a while. I haven't really competed or anything like that in a very long time. I haven't really been competitive with fighting games, but I was playing with a friend yesterday. And it wasn't Street Fighter, playing some Smash Brothers. It's not quite the same thing, but hey, it's still a fighting game, right? So I was playing with my friend, and I was realizing, man, I'm having such a good time here, and like I kind of was today just having a really rough day. I was working from home, so that kind of helped a little bit, and I was just thinking about actually how much fun I was having. I was like, man, it'd be really nice to play some fighting games and just kind of get stuff off my chest. And like, what is on my chest? Like, I don't even know. I don't even know what's on my chest. It's just there. It's just heavy. It's just this sleep paralysis demon hanging out. But I'm just kidding. That's not a thing for me right now. It's not actually happening. Thank God. I know it's a thing for real thing for people, but not for me right now. And it happened to me once, by the way. That's a very interesting story. Man, I could just share that. Why not? I had this one time where there was a sleep paralysis demon on my chest. I couldn't see it, obviously, and I know some people say that they could. I was in high school, and this was before I kind of like got baptized and all that other stuff. But I remember I was having a sleepover, and we were playing fighting games all night. We were playing, what was it? I think we were playing Soul Calibur. Very interesting name for a very interesting moment. And so we were playing that game, and we were playing up into the wee hours of the morning, maybe 3, something like that. And it was like, I was blinking, away. I was just starting to nod off, and I was giving up. I was on the couch, just laying down, and I remember, I was like, I fell asleep. I guess I must have fallen asleep at some point. And I remember just being like, looking at everyone though. I was looking directly at everyone, and they were still playing the game, and my eyes must have been open or something like that. But I remember just being like, I couldn't breathe, and it was insane. If you've never had this happen to you, sleep paralysis, it is terrifying. It's one of the most terrifying things you can experience that is other than something that actually like Satan or God would do to you or show you. But anyway, I remember just being like, guys, help me. And then I remember not being able to speak or breathe or whatever. And I remember I started to yell in my mind or whatever, in my mind's eye or soul or spirit or whatever. I remember just yelling like with the top of my lungs. It was 3 a.m. and I was like, guys, I can't breathe, help. And I remember I snapped out of it. And when I snapped out of it, I knew my eyes were open because once I woke up, they were doing exactly what I was looking at them doing. They're both looking at the screen, and it's not like anything changed. There was no like switch of scenes or transitions or anything like that. And I remember just kind of like going, oh my gosh, you guys didn't hear me? That was insane. I couldn't breathe. You couldn't hear, and they're like, what are you talking about? You didn't say anything. And that's how I knew something was weird. And then I just forgot about it, because that's something that you kind of shove down. You just push it real far down into a deep place into your heart where no one can hear about it until you get older and you're living in Japan and you're doing a half-assed, twice as fast podcast for some reason. Anyway, that happened. And so back to now, I mean, like, just hanging out. Just after I got off the clock, I just kind of got done working for what little work I could do today, and it was just like, man, I know for a fact I am doing things that I have to be doing. I know I am on the path I should be doing. And how do I know this? Because literally God gave me a vision. God gave me an actual visual vision of what I should be doing. And I know I'm supposed to be in Japan. I know I'm supposed to be working and doing as hard as I can. I know I'm supposed to be like, writing music and practicing violin, which I did today. And that helped. That actually helped a lot, playing violin today. And like, but even then, there's going to be all these times. And I remember just thinking, man, how's this going to be a good testimony for people? I'm a Christian. They're supposed to be thinking I'm supposed to be joyful all the time. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, look, I know, joy is a thing that, by the way, joy and happiness, two different things, and I know most people kind of already get this, but joy is a thing that you just have all the time. It's just ever present, and with the joy of the Lord is one of the greatest things ever. It's just it's a rock. It's a rock in a windy area that you can tie yourself down to. It's not on the sand, which is another biblical reference. Not on the sand, but on the rock. Build your house on the rock, not the sand. Anyway, and Jesus is the rock. But anyway, yeah. So like I remember just like kind of reading about. What was it? It was a prophet. I can't remember if it was Elisha or Elijah, and I'll look that up later, and I'll probably put something right there that says who it was, Elisha or Elijah. I'll just here. And so, and one of the prophets was like, he was like, dude, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm sad. I'm scared. The queen wants to hurt me or kill me or whatever. I don't remember exactly what was going on 100%, but I know there was some kind of monarch, and I believe it was a female monarch, that he was after him, just after his head. And this is just after God did some miraculous, amazing things in his life. So God is very, very real and palpable to this man, this prophet, right? And oh, by the way, a prophet, meaning he's constantly hearing from God and spreading the word of God to the people. He goes out and he's just like, I'm scared. I'm sad. And he runs out. And he just like runs out of the city or something like that, or whatever, down into the wilderness. And then God's just like, God doesn't come back and be like, dude, I literally just mauled a bunch of like, brats for you, like with bears. And like, I just did all this crazy, amazing stuff for you. Like, why are you sad? And he didn't do that. He was just like, oh, he sent some angels and they were like, have a nap. Here's some snacks. Here's some Nilla wafers and orange juice and apple juice. I don't like orange juice. And sleep. Just sleep it off. Just, you're overwhelmed. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, you lack faith in me? How dare you? Wow. And it was just like, no, go have a nap. Rest. You need to recover. And I was having this long debate with one of my friends. Newer Christian. Love the guy. He's a great guy. He's a very logical guy. He's a Japanese guy who's very logical and likes to debate. That's something that is very hard to find. A Japanese person who likes to debate. And he is just cool with it because he's just very logical, just like, oh, I'll go down the line. But we're just going down and just getting down in the nitty gritty about like, seeking, rest and pleasure, and then also disciplining yourself, and like, how do you make these decisions? Because I think it was just like, he posted something. It was a friend of mine. If you've seen, then you've seen, but whatever. This is not going to dox him. He posted a post about orange juice. He's like, I'm drinking orange juice. I don't drink any of that gongcha. And if you don't know what gongcha is basically tapioca. It's a very, very sugary, delicious, milk tea-based kind of drink. It's milk tea, boba tea, bubble tea, all these names, right? And so, like, I remember that I just kind of, just for fun, I posted. I was like, but gongcha is so delicious. And then we got into it, like, hey, why would you drink gongcha? And he wasn't, like, coming at me or anything like that. It was just having a good time. He's like, yeah, but why would you drink that stuff? It's so bad. I drink orange juice because orange juice is natural and good for you. And then I got into why orange juice is really not even that great for you anyway, because it's just a bunch of sugar and fructose, and it's just going to mess with your ghrelin and all the other things it messes with, and insulin, blah, blah, blah. Not a whole lot better than gongcha, because gongcha's at least got some other natural ingredients in it as well, and you don't have to make tapioca out of processed stuff. But anyway, the point is, we got down to the whole, like, wow, you gotta, his whole position is, you cannot ever make decisions based on your flesh, based on pleasure, based on what you want. You must only make your decisions based on God. I do not disagree with this. I don't disagree with this. But the place where we disagreed was, I'm just saying, like, hey, it's okay to just be like, look, I'm tired right now. It is not a sin, and it's not ungodly for me to seek rest, for me to just kind of sit down, for me to just be all like I think I need a treat. Literally, God talks about this. He gives Elijah or Elisha, whoever it was, I'm going to put it here again, just a time to take a nap, and just to, this is a prophet, a godly man. And God endorsed this restfulness, right? Just to be like, I'm tired and therefore I'm resting. My friend's position was that you should only ever receive pleasure as a result, a byproduct of discipline. And I think that's more or less, if I had to steelman the argument, he believes that you should get pleasure, you should get rewards only from work, not just from seeking pleasure. You shouldn't just concern your mind with pleasure. And I agree, you shouldn't be overwhelmed with pleasure and seeking only pleasure. But anyway, So, and then, I mean, like, we got into it, and I was just like, look, I mean, even Jesus at the wedding, and hey, I'm not a Bible scholar, so hey, all you theologians, you can go ahead and correct me on this if you want, but he went to a party, and his mom is just like, Mary, is just like, hey, man, make some wine for these people. They gotta drink, all the wine's coming out, you gotta get some wine. I don't know why his mom is black, but that was one of the worst black accents I've ever done. Anyway, he's just like, what do you know about me, woman? It's not my time. And he does it anyway. And he knows that it's like, and it was like the good wine. It was good stuff. He sent it out, and everybody's like, this is the best wine ever. And it was like for pleasure. And Jesus did it. And I was just like, look, Jesus did this stuff. There's a psalm in the Bible. David, I believe it was David, wrote the psalm. Can't remember if it was David or not. I'll say if it was here. That he wrote a psalm. It's just like, hey, God, praise God for like wine. He's like, God, why that you've given us such a good gift to make merry with and to relax us with. It's a good gift. It's a good thing that you've made for us, right? It's pleasure. Wine has nothing to do with discipline or anything like that. And so, like, it's cool to just say, look, I need to rest. I need to chill. I need to sit down. I just need a nap. I need some freaking crackers and apple juice, man. I'm gonna go get some pancakes today. I'm gonna have an extra cheat day today because I'm worn out. I am. And it will help you to be able to be at rest and then make your connection to God and to pray, or hey, if you're not Christian, to at least just to calm down, you should make your connection with God. I dare you, I implore you to make some time to reach out and ask. But either way, the point is you need to be at rest, and you need to be in a place where your heart is not stirred all the time, right? And even as a Christian, it says in the Bible, it's like that's one of the things that's promised is like, look, you will be hated for being a Christian, and I've experienced it many ways. And it's not a delusion. I have experienced some. It's not everyone. It's not all the time. It's not even often. But other people have experienced it. That's the one thing that's promised. And the thing is, we're supposed to keep our eyes on Jesus, right? The whole thing about Jesus walking on water isn't just like, hey, ain't it cool that I'm walking on this water? It's just like, hey, focus on me. He calls Peter out. Hey, come out of the boat. Come walk to me on the water, Peter. And Peter's just like, oh snap, I'm getting called out. And he goes out. And so he's keeping his eyes on Jesus, just watching and looking at Jesus. Hey, he's going out into the water. Then he starts to sink because he's looking at the waves. He starts to look at all the waves crashing around him and all the... He starts to worry and he loses track of what matters, and it's just to look at Jesus and to be like, look, hi, I'm here. And then Jesus comes and pulls him out of the water. And it's not like Jesus gives him a lesson or about it. Like, I don't remember exactly what Jesus says immediately at that point. But the point is, the story goes that he starts to sink because of that. And anyway, I'm just kind of like riffing, and I don't know where I'm going with that one. I don't know where I'm going with that one. But hey, what's playing actually? Is that Street Fighter? It might be Street Fighter. But the whole thing is, relax. Just take a chill pill. Just sit down.